handle the truth.
Welcome to Todd's Truth Presents Creator Truth. Tonight we got a couple of great creators to talk to, and it's Joe Catapano for Star Circuit.
What's up?
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
And we have Mark Middleton for Grave Robbers. Hey, Mark.
How's it going?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing pretty good, man.
Can't
Doing
complain.
all right. Yeah.
So let's talk about, first of all, about a little bit about you guys. So what got you guys into making comics or wanting to make comics?
I can take that first. I more like what got me wanting to draw is late in the game, around when I was in college, I realized that I like doing what I was doing, which is CG. I went to school for CG, but I was like much more into whenever I took the art classes, the traditional art classes, I was just like way more into it than anything else. So after I graduated with the degree, I started teaching myself, and it just, the CG stuff pays the bills, and I just kept myself learning how to draw and then later how to write. And that's kind of what did it. But really along the way, I started reading comics, later in the game, around when I was 20 and on. That's when I really started diving in. I remember because maybe it was right around the time of Blackest Night, and I was like really into that whole crossover thing they did. Was like one of the best things they've ever done. It harkens back to the good old times.
Yeah, so, Blackest Night was really, really good.
Yeah.
That's
so
good stuff.
Yeah, that's me.
What about you, Mark?
I started reading comics probably around the time, I had to have been maybe 5 or 6. It was when the X-Men cartoon show came out in the early 90s. I think that was like 92 or so.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when I really started, we were talking about it at school, and, I got my dad to take me to a comic book shop. I actually still have the first comic that I bought. It was X-Men number 14. It was part of the whole.
Oh, wow.
What was the name of that? What was the name of that series? It's the one where they all had individual cards. They all came in bags and stuff. It had Stripe, I think was the main villain. I can't remember the name of it. Executioner Song. That's it. And that was the first comic I bought. And, I just fell in love with it right then. It was like immediate. I loved the X-Men. I loved Captain America, Iron Man. It was just like a bolt of lightning. It was just amazing. I watched the cartoons. I started collecting. It's taken over. I actually have a room in my house now that's, just my office to have all of my junk because my wife won't tolerate it. And I hate the other part of the house. So
this is mine right here. This is my room too. Yeah. Nothing in this room is allowed out in the rest of that house. My wife was like, "Nope, that stays in that room."
And it's frustrating because you get the long boxes filled with comic books, and they're so unwieldy that you can't do anything.
Yeah.
So you just have to stack them and stack them and stack them, and then there's nowhere to put them. So yeah, it's it's been a lifelong obsession, I guess. I've always been a writer. I've loved to write since I was a little kid. I used to write little stories and, stuff like that. But, I've always wanted to, I have so many ideas for writing, like especially comic books in general, books, are another thing. But, with Grave Robbers, that's something that I started writing, I think, probably 3 years ago. I started piecing the characters together, getting the storyline. Didn't all coalesce until, a few years ago, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. And then, I started putting the script together. But, since then it's just been, a nonstop ride to where I'm at now. So, yeah. It's been awesome.
Yeah. Isn't that funny though? It's like when we were all younger doing stuff, then now we're all adults and now we can afford to actually do this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or like some of the people you see, like Patrick, and he's got all those toys all over in his office, and it's like because we couldn't afford them when we were young, but we can afford them now. So we're adults and we're like, I want that because I can buy it now. I got money.
I can't tell you how many times that I've walked into like a used toy shop and seen something that I wanted when I was a kid. I'm like, well, I got the money now, so what's stopping me? Like the Ghost Rider, I think it was the 12-inch Ghost Riders. There was, I think, Vengeance, Ghost Rider, and Blaze. I wanted those so bad when I was a kid. I loved Ghost Rider. My mom hated it. You know, she was like, no, that's evil. I don't want anything to do with that. You know, she was just like not on board with Ghost Rider at all.
Yeah.
So, you know, I saw those in the store and I grabbed all 3 of them and I just, you know, walked right out to my car.
No, you can't have the guy with a flaming skull.
Yeah, that's pretty much me too. Like for the most part, it was just like parents not being into it.
Yeah, mine too.
That's funny how that works out.
Yeah. Now that we're all adults, we're like, I want that now. I can have that.
Yeah.
My parents can't tell me no.
Exactly. Yeah, they can't throw away my Spawn comics now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like my shelf back, wrong side, my shelf over here. It's got all the stuff on it I bought or collect as being an adult, you know?
Yeah. I have 2 cases, you know, and
now it's just my wife tells me no. So
that's the tricky part. That's the part you got to figure out a way around now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so, I think I actually have some original art in the mail. I'm like, I got to go check this thing now. I totally forgot it was coming in today.
Oh yeah, that's another. Yeah, that's another thing I've bought. Just some original art. I've got it over there framed. I'm getting ready to put it up on the walls now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's something that I got to sneak in.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, do you have another comic book coming in the mail? It's like, no, this is something.
What?
It's a textbook. It's an economics book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, economics. That's it.
Yeah, macro. Yeah.
There's something definitely, you know, it's definitely economical in a way. You know, it has something to do with money, so you know, it works out. It's not
that's like I think it was Patrick. He was doing a stream the other night and he got a shipment of toys, and he goes, "This is the first thing you do when you get a new shipment of toys or a box of toys." He goes, "You throw away what you ordered." And he grabbed the slip and he threw it away. So your wife doesn't find it.
Exactly.
And I was bury it. I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yep. So with you just said about you grew up with your first thing was the X-Men. So what character? And I use the characters because sometimes it can be a villain or a hero. Who is your favorite comic book character?
Wow. That's a hard one.
What do you guys think? I'll tell you. Mine are right there. Hal Jordan.
Nice.
And Deathstroke.
Oh, you must have liked the Snyder Cut. Have you seen that yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you're gonna have. I won't ruin anything.
Right.
But it's pretty good.
But in general, Hal Jordan was the first Green Lantern I saw. But I like the Green Lanterns. I like all the Green Lantern stuff. It's like I keep telling people, if it was done correctly. Like if they did that correctly, like movies or TV show, you could, if I wrote it, you could make the Green Lanterns as big or bigger than Star Trek and Star Wars.
Well, they're pretty huge.
Because of how vast it is. I mean, you look at Star Trek, and it's vast, the whole galaxy, whatever. But Green Lantern has introduced more races, more different things, and you can do more with it because of the way it's set up. It could be just huge.
Well, not only that, but all of the individual characters, you not only, not even just you've got, Kyle Rayner, Hal Jordan, John Stewart, Guy Gardner, obviously, but then you can branch out even with like Kilowog,
right?
Sinestro.
All the alien races.
And then you go into, that's just the Green Lanterns before like Sinestro breaks off, there's so much there. And then
on all the Blackest Night stuff that introduced it.
Yeah. And all the other different ring colors now, because I'm not, if you can see, like right there.
Oh yeah,
mannequin
I was wondering what that was.
With all the Green Lantern rings on it, all the different Green Lantern rings.
Yeah, I got my rings over there too.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, I have to. I was not going to steal the show. I have one other one, but I do want to agree. Hal Jordan is one of my favorites. I don't know, something about Hal that he's flawed, and I think he's flawed more than the other ones. And I think that's why I like him the most. But you can pick one. I've got one other one, but I'll save him for after Mark gives maybe his pick.
If we're talking Green Lanterns, my favorite Green Lantern is Guy Gardner. I like the I have a little bit of a temper, and I kind of see that in him, and I kind of like seeing myself represented on a page.
Best scene ever in any comic book was when Batman one-punched him and knocked him out.
Oh. Totally forgot about that.
Just mouthed off and boom.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Captain America, honestly. I was a huge fan growing up. My my dad was an immigrant, and it was really cool, having his perspective on it, the idea of coming to this country and having that love to work hard, knowing that you're going to get someplace. And he kind of put into me this idea that I could, if I worked hard, I could actually do something. And I saw that a lot in some of the older Captain America comics, and you have that reflected in who he is. And I thought that was really cool. So I kind of grew up loving Captain America. I actually have a tattoo on my arm, the shield.
Nice.
But I gotta say, I'm pretty big on Beta Ray Bill too. I like Beta Ray Bill.
Oh, that was a great character too.
A lot of people don't talk about him. I think he's really underrated. He's a pretty cool character.
Well, when I saw I'm not a big Marvel fan. I was more of a DC fan. But when I saw the movies, when Thor brought in Stormbreaker,
oh yeah,
the first thing I went is, are they going to bring in Beta Ray Bill? I'm like, what? Oh.
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking, like, I don't remember seeing Walt Simonson's name in the credits. I was like, I don't know if they're going to bring him in, but it'd be awesome if they did.
Yeah, but they bring in his weapon, so I thought that was interesting. Yeah. Is that foreshadowing, or was that just something because they ran out of story plot?
That's probably what it is.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I think your favorite characters are ones that you like tie to, like you see yourself in a little bit, like you said about Guy Gardner,
right?
And I don't know, this seemed like a humble brag or something, but one of the books that got me into comics and starting my whole path was Freddie Williams' run on Robin, and it was a Tim Drake run, and he transformed Tim Drake into something I love, and then I started going and reading the history, and he's just like one of the coolest characters, just because he's unlike all the other Robins, whereas he discovered the identity just out of his own like capabilities, out of merit. He figured it out, and then he became like he's the only Robin that like is almost like his counterpart to the good side. Like he's the guy that's bringing him out of the depths. Like every time he gets too dark, he brings him out purposely. Like he's smart. He's like the smartest Robin, whereas Dick is probably the most athletic, and Jason's probably maybe the most like capable or something. Tim's probably the smartest and the most detective oriented. But that's what I see on him, and I was like, maybe I wouldn't be the most athletic, but I think I would be the one that would like fight. I guess his is like be like the moral compass, be like a Mark, be the moral compass for Batman. And
Mark,
I think so. But yeah, that's my take.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, I told Mark the other day when he was doing the moral compass thing. I said, "Hey, that's my gig.
Yeah,
you can't steal mine. Hey, I have that." I go, literally, the compass is in my logo.
So I feel like I was going to say on the top of that was like everybody said there, maybe you have like a story tied to like something you like at that character. And I think what we do with CG is like we take what we want to do with these characters and maybe make it your own, make it an IP that's your own. So that's maybe if I ever do a superhero thing, it's going to be something like that, where it's like this kind of dive into the sidekick perspective in a way where it is that little bit of the moral compass and a little bit more of this balancing of everything. But yeah, I think if I ever do one, it'll be something like that, because my book right now is very sci-fi and all my ideas are very they're like just very vast, more like Green Lantern stuff, like very vast, very universe based, a lot of technology, a lot of craziness.
Yeah, that stuff's fun to write
for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. So what do you think, Mark, sorry, what do you think of the new horrible excuse for Captain America Marvel's coming out with?
I don't understand why they chose that I guess I get, we know that
neither does anybody else.
Yeah.
But I guess we had, at this point, Marvel is what Marvel is. It's gone downhill. I don't know if it'll ever come back, but this is their last ditch attempt to try to reach whatever they think this generation of readers, these new readers are. And I don't think it reflects at all what their actual readers look like. So I'm pretty sure that that's going to tank, just like pretty much everything else they put out now. So,
well, if they were actually, any intelligent form of life, they would be able to tell that from, I don't know, nothing selling.
Right.
You would think that they'd pick up on that eventually, but they just can't seem to get it through their heads.
They can't even sell enough to like show up on a sales chart of any of these things. So it's like, that means you're not selling. Wouldn't you want to sell comic books? But apparently they don't, because now they've gone to the whole format of, it's not about making money. It's all about the message. It's about a platform that we can use to give a message.
That there'd be just one person at the entirety of Marvel who would know how to use PowerPoint, just to show them, like the descending, how it just goes down. Like that's the money up here where we started, and here's where we are now. Like just show like that downward trend. But for some reason, there's just I don't know if they're hiding it from them. I don't know if the execs are like, oh, what do kids like? Oh, they like weird, like train hopping kids with mohawks.
Yeah, it could be one of those situations where like a lot of times if something's not working, like I don't know, I don't want to bring this in, but like something like affirmative action or something, and if it's not working, they're like, oh, we need more affirmative action to make this work.
Yeah,
double down.
There's the committee. There's got to be. Well, they have an entire. I think Sana Amanat. That's her entire job is basically like, how many of these do we have? How many of those do we have? Do we have all of these represented? And then, just speckling them in, that's essentially what her job is.
Which is really bad, since affirmative action was thrown out by court saying it was racist.
Yeah.
What they do is they double down on it, and now they call it diversity.
Right.
Exactly.
But it's even worse.
It's just,
believe me, I have some stories I could tell you offline.
I just link anybody who likes that stuff. I just link them Thomas Sowell videos, and then they'll straighten them out.
Yep.
That's it.
One of the funniest things I saw was I can't remember what somebody said it, and then I like to use it because I'm like, they're the only people, these SAWs are the only people that took the book 1984 and used it as a manual instead of a warning.
Right. Guideline number 5. Yeah.
It's like, no, that was supposed to be a warning of what not to do, people.
Ignorance is strength. Is that real? Is that?
Yeah.
I guess we'll just run with that then.
Yeah.
Right. That's crazy.
But yeah, that's what's great about seeing, like the creators now, like you guys and other people, is that, and that's why I say that, you got to show your face to come on my stream, because you can see the genuine, passion and love for your own IPs when you talk. It's not just your voice. You can see it in your faces when creators talk about this is mine, I'm not doing somebody else's, and you can see it in their faces.
And my hands.
Hands. Yeah. And I don't know about you guys, but there's been projects that I looked at and I went, no, I'm not going to back that. And then I saw the creator on a stream and I went, oh, well, I changed my mind now. Now I'm going to back that.
Yeah.
Because I like the passion the creator had for what he's doing. And I'm like, oh, I have to back that now because I want to support this guy, because look at how he's talking. Look what he's doing. It's awesome.
Right.
Absolutely.
What do you guys think about this new creator, comic book industry, where now, because of YouTube and like shows like this and other streams, where it's as much about you guys selling yourselves as it is about selling the comics?
Yeah, go for it. I have my own take, but go for it. Yeah.
It's one of, I think that I think that it can be both good and bad. I think that, I like the idea of having, totally independent comics, where creators are free to just, express whatever it is that they're wanting to put on paper, and people can, buy what they like and buy what they don't like. The problem is that I'm afraid, and I don't, I'm not reflecting on any particular, any person in particular when I say this, because, I'm definitely not, but I'm just afraid that it becomes too much about, when does it become too much about the creator and the product? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. For example, I really like Kurt Vonnegut's books, but I don't know if I would really like him as an individual. Like, I don't know if I would hang out with him.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where, same thing with George Orwell, we were talking like with 1984, his book, I can't remember the name of the book. He has a book about miners in, in 1930, mining and stuff like that, the lives that they lived. And it was pretty horrific. But again, in as much as I'm interested in that subject, I'm not so sure that he's somebody that I'd he's interesting to listen to as a lecturer, maybe, but I don't know that I would sit down and like really, interact with him more than just, talking about his books. So on the one hand, I think it's good because you get to know who it is that you're buying from, and you know that the person you're watching is genuine. But at the same time, I really want people to focus on how they like the product itself. Like I would love for people to like me, and I hope they do, and I hope that they see how much I love and have passion for my project, because I do. I really love these characters, and I've put a lot of work into them, and I think that's going to show through in the end. But I want people to really look at the book and see the product and enjoy the quality, the story, and the art, and I hope that they do. I think that it's both good and bad, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, I agree. I think my first sentiment was going to be the positive, and the positive is like it's the best version of like a resurgence from like that stardom of the 90s, and just like the image guys and everything. It's like everybody can be that. If you have a personality and you like want to put yourself out there, that can help you put your product in the right light, and kind of sell it. But at the same time, you're right. It should be more about the merit, and we want it to be as much about like the meritocracy as it can be. And I think you do kind of muddy the waters if you end up with a thing where you're only, it's all about, the person's personality. And we forget about, this is really about the stories. Can you write a good story?
Right.
Can you write good characters? Is it good art? And that should be the foundation. But yeah, that's pretty much what you said, Mark. It's just with a little caveat of, I think it is also the best of the personality kind of cult or something, where we all get to learn who each other are, and that makes us feel like we're more connected, which is good, because now we'll kind of, if this is a cause if this is a hill we want to die on, we might do it more honorably and like for the right reasons, rather than trying to make money. Right. But now we know each other because we've seen each other's faces. I think that's a good reason.
Yeah, I think it also comes down to, like, for first-time creators like you guys, it comes down to fulfillment. And when you fulfill, then everybody gets to see whether your books are good. Not just the art that you've posted on your Indiegogo page, but we get to read the story, and then we get to see the rest of the art and the comic book as a whole. And then, that I think is determining, your future.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
A lot hangs on that first one, because you're
right.
You got to see if like you're kind of bluffing your way into
right.
What you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is there's nothing wrong with like not being up to your maybe what you expected, but it has to be close. It has to be, you have to see potential there.
Exactly.
Right.
It really shows, it shows your mettle. You put it out there, and it shows that you're capable, and you're able to actually make a coherent and decent story and deliver on it. You're making a promise. When you take that money, you're making a promise to the person who pays you that money. And you're saying, I will deliver on this, and I will give you a decent quality comic book that you're going to enjoy. And that's what people expect, and the thing is that our comic books are not, on the shelf month to month to month. Right. Sometimes it takes several months, sometimes it takes 6 months in some cases, and in some cases even longer. But at the end of the day, it's going to be there, and that's the promise that you give when you say, I'm going to take your money and make something awesome, and I'm going to give you that as and that's the thing, as a first-time creator, that's what I am. I'm fresh out of the gate with Grave Robbers #1. Like that's my first book, and we hit, we're at like 6,000, I think, a little over right now, and I'm just really thankful for even hitting that. I'm just so thankful, and it feels amazing to have people come out and show that kind of support and believe in me enough to actually do that, and it's going to be so much more rewarding knowing that when I complete this book and I send it out to people, that I'm going to see people talk about it, good or bad. If people don't like it, they don't like it. If people do like it, that even better. But at the end of the day, that's going to be the reward for me.
That's cool, man. This is a good pairing too, Todd, because we're happy to be both first timers. So this is my first shout out as well. So it's It's odd because I remember seeing Grave Robbers. When did you launch? When did you launch? Like fall sometime?
November, I think, when I launched early, or no, actually, it was late November. Somewhere.
So I saw everybody come out, and I like Fatal and Battlebook Road blew my mind, and then I saw a lot of the smaller books and you were one of them, first timers out, and I was like, dude, also looks awesome. This is like it's the same caliber, but without a different reach,
I appreciate
which
that.
which I really liked. And everything harkens back to different influences. My point is, you kind of inspired me to like, maybe chill for a little bit, look at what everybody's doing. And I think my success is because I waited and like looked at what was good, what was bad about other people's campaigns. And just learn from everyone else. But it was a good pairing though, Todd, for both of us.
Definitely.
Ah, good.
Yeah.
You learn a lot in your first campaign.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Learn an insane amount. I've messed up so many things. But we're on track and we're good to go now. So
But that's what you've got to learn to move on. And then like your next campaign, you put all that stuff you learned into that next campaign.
Yeah, I learned, for example, that when you do a sign-up page, it expires in 6 months.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I didn't know that, and I got an email that said, "Hey, we closed your campaign," and I had to start
Fresh
over.
No
So
way.
that was awesome. That was another 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, being a first-time person, that wasn't a mistake, that other people haven't made.
Yeah,
I think even like Rob Arnold, who's on his third campaign, he did that with his latest one. He forgot about when he launched it, and he lost his whole sign up for Replicator 3. So I was like, oh, so you're not the only one. Other veterans have done it too. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely had like a existential crisis about that. I was like, how many months did I plan enough? I was like, do I have to launch next week?
It's just that it's just a brick that it just drops right into your gut. It's like, oh no.
Oh,
yeah.
I failed this early. Oh.
And that's what some of the nice things is about, about seeing the first time creators when they fulfill, is that when they come to their second campaign, every one of those first time creators on their second campaign have way outpaced their first campaign.
Yeah.
Because people know that their story's good, their art's good, the book is good, and they know that they fulfill. That's the big thing. That's what most people I've learned, by listening and watching people, is that's the big thing about, first time creators is, are they going to fulfill? And some people are kind of, like, oh, I don't know,
And it's rightfully so, because it's a hard thing. You don't realize.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I'm a writer, artist, kind of half editor, but either way, now campaigner, now fulfiller. It's like so many hats that you have to nail all this stuff, plus the logistics. Make sure you don't lose money. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. I'm kind of lucky in that I'm not an artist. I'm the letterer on the book, but I'm working with Passion for Drawing, and he's definitely taken over a lot. He's the pencils and stuff and the inks. So he does the pencils and inks, and then I'm also working.
He's a good artist.
Yeah, he's incredible. His book Doom Fate has done really well.
Mm-hmm.
I got the chance to read that. It's a phenomenal book. He's done, and he's brought that phenomenal art right into Grave Robbers. He's done a really good job. I'm super proud of everything he's done so far. I'm also working with Eugene Bative, who did the colors for Magic Cop 1 and now Magic Cop 2.
Oh, yeah.
And he also did colors on, I think, the Lost pages. So,
nice.
He's good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's incredible, and he is doing an incredible job with some of the art on this book. I mean, it's like a masterpiece. He's an incredible artist. So I'm really lucky in that I've got two really, really talented guys that I'm working with. But I am the one that's doing, all the fulfillment, everything, otherwise is all me. But so I have a little bit of a weight lifted. But
hey, Blue.
Hey, how's it going, man? But yeah, it's definitely a learning curve. It's not been something that I like. I thought that I would just go. Here's a great example. Add-on perks. You get a product and you're like, okay, well, I'll do an add-on. So you can just go out and people buy it and they can click add-on, and then they'll buy both of those things, and that's a quality thing that they can have. Two quality things that they could have. I didn't know that you had to attach the add-on to the specific thing. I just thought you could just make an add-on and then it would show up.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Oh wow.
for like 6 or 7 days, I had no idea. And I was talking to somebody and they're like, so, which one is that going to be connected to? And I just kind of looked at, I was just like, what are you talking about?
Oh my God.
And he's
connect
just like,
what?
well, which perk are you connecting the add-on to? I was like, well, it just all of them, I guess. Like they could just pick it if they want to. And he's like, you have to like connect those, right? I'm just kind of sat there like, no, I didn't know that at all. So yeah, that was yet another thing. It's just small little things.
Yeah, there's another brick that you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
That's when you do one of those. Oh yeah, I knew that. Be right
back. Yeah, no, I got that. Yeah,
I'll be right back.
Check the mail real quick.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, yeah, learning a lot as well. Like I just didn't know how extensive. Like I'm on the networking side. I'm not as versed as like obviously doing the work, and that's what I like doing the most is the art and the writing.
Right.
And I color too, so it's like literally everything right now. And I'm trying to figure out what I can do next time. I may use Critical Blast next time to do the fulfillment. I'm trying to like split up the roles and trying to figure out. I'm already thinking round 2. What am I going to do? Because I can't do this again. I can, but it's just going to be double the amount of work. It's going to be like double the amount of backers. So I'm like, all right, I got to figure this out, or hopefully double the amount of backers. You know what I mean? Yeah. So hopefully Critical Blast is still doing it by the next time I do one, because he seems like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's going to be around.
Yeah.
He got it under control, man.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, you've got him now and you've got Malin both doing the fulfillment side now.
Secret Door,
like, that's awesome. Because that helps out so much, especially like for the first time people, if they don't know what they're doing, they're like, oh, hey, how much is it going to cost here? How about you guys do this for me so I don't have to deal with it?
Yeah, it's almost like a second timer thing though, because you're like, for at least the bold people like myself, like I'm going to try it myself. It might kill me, so in case I do survive.
Well, that's one of those things you've got to learn from. So you want to do it yourself because you're like, no, I'm going to do it myself.
I can totally do this.
Right.
And then everybody else is like, after that, they're like, oh no, I don't ever want to do that again.
You don't want to do that, man. You don't want to do that. I'm like, no, I got this. I can totally do this. So then you do it.
Exactly.
And you're like,
yeah.
And you've got the other people who've done multiple campaigns going, oh, you really don't want to do that.
I don't know why I'm talking. I'm doing my own fulfillment too. I'm probably a creep too.
So we'll talk to both of you after you're fulfilled, and we'll see what you think. Then
we'll do this show over again, and we'll do.
Then we'll be like, so how was that fulfillment? Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh yeah.
You guys do.
Dude, I love what have you seen what Cobalt is doing? The Bionic Bro, what he's doing on his book. He's got one tier that is advertising another book, having like an open page advertisement that you can buy. One of the tiers is paying like $300 to get your page in there as like an ad for your book. I think that's huge. I think that's a good idea. It messes with some things, and you have to like be careful about who you're putting in there, because now you're associating yourself with who knows what. But it's a little tricky. But I think that's a good idea.
I think that's actually. It goes back to the industry, when kind of the same kind of deal where you have, ads in the book, and it helps, get that book launched and stuff and out the door.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
K Manifesto had a question for you guys. He said, no pressure. He said, congratulations on your first time campaigns. No pressure to reveal, but did you have over 100 emails before launch?
Yeah, I had 199 is what I had when I launched.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, not everybody has those don't translate to sales all the way.
Right, exactly.
They really don't.
Yeah.
But I've been pretty lucky, with a lot of the backers that I've had, and there was a lot of good response to my campaign. So I'm really thankful to everybody who's come out and supported the book, and all the people who signed up. And if you did sign up and you decide to buy, there's a secret perk that you can get to get the exclusive trading card. So
nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that Speaking of, because I got around on just under 300, I think, and I spent the full 6 months because I was like, I this is one goal that I want to do and try to get as many as I can. And I actually spent money for ads, for Facebook ads or whatever, to like try to get more. And I was like, I think it's worth it to try to like push it, put the money up front and see what I can get. I got a few, but not really that many. And I don't think they translated to backers necessarily. So I don't know what's the best way, but I think one of the great ways is what you said, like have an exclusive. And I don't think I gave enough of an exclusive. I gave everyone a free trading card for their sign up, but it wasn't exclusive. And I was like, all right, maybe that's one of the mistakes I made with mine. I think not only does it need to be maybe a little bigger than a trading card, but maybe even, like a cover, a variant cover. Only if you sign up do you get this variant cover. And I think that's a good way to go. That's what people really want.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Blue Samurai says, everyone has a learning curve. Some people's are fractal.
Yeah.
I think that might be mine.
Yeah. No, that's always good. I think that, for that, as an incentive for that emails, for those email signups, is like to get the, when you order something, you get the free trading card, or you get, something as a perk to get more people from those sign-up sheets to buy something,
right?
To back something. I think that's always a great idea, I think. Or like some people are doing, they're doing that secret tier where it's like, oh, well, you get like $25 off this package, or, those kind of things. I think it's anything that you can do to add to, people going from that sign up list to backing you is a great idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And having Shay over there on Red Valkyrie always puts this one up, like have your ceiling be pretty high. Like a lot of people don't, first timers, like maybe they're because they're not as confident or something.
Hey, Darren.
Hey, what's up, D-Wag? So maybe because the first timers are not as confident, they don't make the ceiling as high, but make your biggest perk big, like make it $200-300. Yeah. And I've seen some really good books that their top thing was $60. I was like, dude, you can just throw more stuff, give more, whatever, make a little side extra book, make a supplemental, whatever you need to do to like add more value. Add some originals, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean.
No, go ahead.
Well, what I was gonna. I almost lost my train of thought there. Sorry about that.
No,
people seem to like original art a lot. Mm-hmm. I had Amanda, one of the characters. I had Preston Acevedo. He did the original art. He did like the pencils for it, and then it was colored by Oliver Lee Aker. That was, I think, $400, and that sold. I think I had a $500 double page. I think that's sold. People like to collect that original art, and we still have, I think we sold 3 out of the other 6 that we had up there. So people like that. If you're a first time creator, definitely put out some big ticket items, because people want that stuff. People like that stuff. So
that's something that I don't know if you got Professor Murph for War Party. That's something he learned, because he had a bunch of tiers, but they were all like you said, Joe, they were all low level tiers. Well, he learned now, since he went into in demand, about that. So he started doing some stuff, adding on some tiers that were higher up tiers. Like he made some figures for his character, one of the main character.
Yeah,
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, and he sold them all.
Yeah,
sold out.
Yeah, he sold them all. So
he kept it limited though, right? Like 10 or 20 or something.
Yeah, he made one set with her. And with the one paint job, and then he had another one or two with a different paint job for more, and he sold them all.
Well, there you go, man. People love variants.
Yeah, and he said that's what he said. He said he learned that too, Joe. He's like, oh yeah, you've got to have some more tiers in there, because he's like, I had this many backers, but I was only making this little amount of money. And he goes, that's why. It was the same thing you just said. You've got to throw in some higher tiers there just to see. And like he did, he sold everything when he did it.
Yeah.
And that's great to see.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
When I was in college, I had a geology professor, and one day I walked up to him. I wanted to check on my grade. I wanted to see how I was doing, and I was like, hey, can you tell me where I'm at? Because I was afraid maybe I'd need to do some extra credit or something like that. And he said, well, you tell me, what do you think your grade is? And I said, I didn't want to be cocky. I didn't want to say like, oh, I think I got an A, and him like, come on. you know.
Yeah,
But you know,
exactly.
but I didn't want to go. I didn't want to lowball it, so I was like, okay, you know, B seems like it's kind of a median thing. So I was like, you know, I think I got a B. And he goes, okay, well, you got a B. And I just kind of looked at him. You know, I was like, all right. And then the next day in class, he was talking about, you know, he was talking about something. I remember what it was. I didn't pay attention. Yeah. But but he starts talking about, you know, you get what you ask for, and you know, you got to be bold about it. And you know, he's like, you know, there are people who, you know, come out there and they ask, you know, what can you give me? And you know, if you ask, you know, you kind of shortchange yourself, you're not going to get a whole lot. For example, if you you know, ask a professor what your grade is, and you say a B, you're going to get a B when you could have gotten an A. And then he kind of looked at me, and then he like went back to the class. I was like, you like.
No, yeah, I'm gonna come up the front of the class and smack you right now.
I don't think so. I remember sitting and thinking, like, you best.
Yeah, that's nuts, dude.
Yeah,
it's stuff like, and you know, that goes to the campaigns. You know, if you shortchange yourself,
mm-hmm.
you know, you're gonna get essentially what you're asking for. You're gonna get shortchanged.
Right.
You know, there are a lot of people out there who, you know, I see a lot of campaigns hitting like $3,000 and stuff like that. And, you know, they build and they build and they build, and that's fine. You know, if you can work on that, you know, that's what you need to work on. But, you know, if you need, you know, a specific amount, that's what you should be gunning for. You know, you go out there and you get what you're worth. You know, if you think you're worth 5,000, like I put out 5,000, ask for 5,000.
Right.
You know, if you think you're worth whatever, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention. Yes, you had to be.
Exactly. I should have had a lot lower to be totally fair.
Yeah.
But you know, that's the whole thing. You know, if you shortchange yourself, you're gonna get tripped up, and you're gonna get what you're asking for. You know, that's that whole you know, let the buyer beware thing. You know,
for sure. I feel the same way a little bit. I've learned a lot about confidence and like just being assertive about like what you can do. Like, especially artists, I feel like we're a little bit more, I guess, doubtful of our skills. Even if you're good, you still don't really know, especially if you're a first timer, you really don't know how good you are until people start giving you support. Because like, I know it takes a few times of, you know, Billy Tucci saying your art looks good before you're like, oh, maybe I am okay, you know, and that's what it was for me. It was like a few more people that I respect, like telling you compliments. And I was like, okay, from there, now I'm more assertive about everything I do. I'm, you know, this is what I'm doing here. You know, it's my best work and you're going to like it. And before, maybe I wasn't able to say that before. But I think it's one of the things I've learned along with, I didn't really, this is another thing we probably can talk about, but the like setting good stretch goals and planning them well, or you know, planning your lull well in the middle of your campaign. And I'm right in the middle of that, and I was like, oh, I could have did this better. Could have planned something a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stretch goals are definitely one of those things that, you know, that's where you can kind of shine, or you can kind of fade. You know, you want to give people something that they want. You know, you don't want to give them, you know, like a bouncy ball. Nobody cares about you know, it's just a stupid example, but you know, you know, it's stuff that people actually care about. You know, like with, you know, I think my $7,000 stretch goal is the Amanda Lynn print, and you know, that's like a little mini print, you know, that Ivory Backer will get when we hit that $7,000 mark. But you know, it's something that people actually want. You know, that's something that, you know, people have told me that they really like the Amanda Lynn print and that they really want it. Like, I had a lot of people say that they wanted it as a variant cover, but I didn't want to do a variant on this campaign. I thought it was still too new. You know, I'm still too new of a creator to do two different variants. But or I'm sorry, one variant with, you know, two different covers.
Right.
But you know, I still wanted to get it into get it into people's hands. So, you know, that's one thing that, you know, I listened to what people were telling me and I put it on the campaign. A lot of people like the soft touch covers. That's the current, you know, stretch goal that we have right now, the $6,500 one. So people like that, you know, people, I mean, I like it too. You know, I've gotten it with the Lost Pages. They had theirs as a soft touch cover. I got that and I was just like feeling like, this is a really, really nice cover.
Yeah.
For sure. I think Mixum calls it satin. That's their name. But
Is that what they call it?
Yeah, that's what Mixum calls it anyway. That's what my plan is. Because
okay, yeah.
I forgot what book I recently bought at the comic shop, which is kind of another segue. But I felt the cover and I was like, dude, this is absolutely what I want. It's different. And, I think it. I don't know. The glossy thing is good, but I don't know.
It's just it's something. It's just the texture. Like it takes it up a notch. Like it separates it from something you can just buy at your local comic book store.
Right.
You can go and you can grab any Marvel book and it's going to have like a gloss. It's going to have the soft cut. It's going to have like a soft glossy cover. But when you get this in your hands, it's like this is something different. This is something new. So
yeah,
sure. Sets it apart.
Yeah, I was looking for a glow in the dark one, and the only one I found was like Print Ninja and another one that was like local, but the prices were crazy. But I didn't get I know Billy Tucci had one, and I never got to ask him, but that was going to be my stretch goal. I just couldn't find the right printer in time, and so next time there's going to be there's definitely some glow in the dark stuff around too.
There you go, man.
That's my plan.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's always good for your next campaign. That way, what you're going to be getting into with the next ones to see when you get through your first one. Like you were saying, Mark, it's, I've seen some people go crazy with some things like covers and stuff. And people are like, no, don't do that on your first time, because again, like we talked about before, nobody knows you. Nobody knows if you're going to fill. Nobody knows what it's going to be like, your story, those kind of things.
I could get 10 variant covers that people buy, and now I have to fill that by buying 50 of them.
Right.
So it's one of those things where you want to give it to people, but you want to know, you want to accurately gauge your demand. I think that's the best way to put it. You want to give people what they want, but at the same time, if there's like one person and they're like, "Hey, I want like a Funko Pop," and you're like, "I don't know if I don't even know." I would do that. So it's just one of those things where you just have to gauge. So
I think we talked about this a little bit ago, but the thoughts on collected emails to be better than social media as an indicator for potential sales.
I would say the emails are probably better. It depends on what you mean by like my Facebook. There's a Grave Robbers Facebook. And I've only got like 60 something people who have actually liked the page. To be fair, I'm not really selling it a whole lot. So that might be actually my own fault. But I have had more responses with email. To be fair.
I would put it as like you can compare them if you are having constant interaction. Like if you got 30 people that you are talking back and forth with on Twitter on a regular basis, and they like comics, you got a good chance with them. But otherwise, emails, to get somebody to go put their email in, it takes a little bit of effort. Even though it's free, like people don't want spam. They don't want stuff they don't want. So there's a good chance they're going to do something with it. The problem with mine was like some of them were from when I first started Star Circuit, and that was years ago. I concepted it for 2.5 years before I even started it, and that took another 1.5 years. So it was like a 4-year set. So like there's people 4 years ago that signed on, like what happened to this book. I had a Patreon, and there was updates. People knew it was coming, but it just dies off. If you're on board, I knew there was going to be people that were going to die off. But I couldn't help that. I got a day job, just got to do. I wanted it to be quality, and I think it came out quality, and that's all that matters. So
even with the year difference, I think that the drop off can still be there too. There are going to be people who just lose interest. But yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Here's something to think about from Blue Samurais. Be careful with certain cover coatings. My Jawbreakers 2 was shipped in winter, got cold before it cured. The coating peeled off.
Ooh.
Oh,
no way.
Wow. Okay.
Yikes. I hope he covered that.
Yeah.
That is terrible, man.
Yeah, that's not good. Just don't make me buy extra copies of other covers just to get one of your covers. That was considered predatory when it was in shops. Yeah.
Like 32 different covers. And
like what was that one that was just coming out from, was it Marvel or something? Had like 50 covers or something like that. I was like, what are you doing?
Death of Logan, or the Death of Wolverine had like 25 or 30 something covers.
Yeah, and
like,
now with the Last Ronin with IDW, the Turtles one.
Oh yeah,
That's huge.
A book that I was actually I was actually thinking about buying that, because it looked really good, and I like Eastman Laird,
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
But that would be crazy to get it and it peeled it peeled off. I would be like, what the heck just happened here?
I know. That's such a sad story.
Oh, jeez.
I'd be calling my local UPS and just being like, what in the hell is this? But I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
right, exactly. Yeah, they would.
To go to Zach and be like, hey man, I don't know what happened here, but
a picture of you holding both pieces. What happened? I don't think it was, but this is part of the. I don't think this is the plan.
And there has been a lot of that actually. There's been a couple of instances of people getting, rained on, or it's gotten wet or something like that, and that's always a shame. But you always got to have, as a creator, you want to have some foresight with that, and try to buy extra or
right,
ensure that it's going to get there safely.
As best you can, yeah.
Yeah, I think somebody said you should overprint by like 10%, I think.
Yeah.
Just to cover in case of problems.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's why I like, everyone using like the Gemini mailers and then bagging and boarding the comics inside those Gemini mailers. Right. Because if you've ever seen, I used to live in Burbank and California, and in an apartment complex there. And I literally saw the UPS guy when he was delivering to the apartments. I was on the top floor and I could look down as like an open balcony set up. So I could look down at the other floors and I could see the UPS guy. He would be pulling his little dolly and he would stop. He'd look at the door and he'd chuck the packages at the doors and then keep walking. And I'm like,
this is Paperboy over here.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap. I'm like, so the more protection you can put on these things, hey, that's great. Because after seeing that, I'm like, oh man, no way. If I walked out and saw a dude chucking my package at the door, he'd be eating that package.
Oh yeah.
But full force just pitching those things, man. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I was opening up another can of worms. So go.
I was just going to say I read somewhere that when you put fragile on the box, the delivery guys and stuff like that intentionally they're intentionally not fragile with it. Because they look at it and they're like, oh well, you don't think I'm going to be fragile with this. So you get annoyed by it, so they're intentionally like throwing it around, which is kind of like the reverse of you'd think that they'd be, like they're like, oh, I'm gonna go out of my way to be mean to this, and it's like,
it doesn't make sense. The coolest ones,
it's a box, it's not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've seen some commissioned artists or draw on the box, and they'll make a little funny cartoon, and the cartoon will say, "Don't throw the box; it's fragile." And I'm hoping that helps because I mean they never really come that damaged, but I'm hoping they see it and oh, this is funny, let's not throw it around. But we don't have that luxury because we have to do whatever hundreds of whatever we're going to do. Yeah,
exactly.
So.
Okay, well, if you guys want to, we can start talking about your guys' campaigns.
Sure.
Cool. Get into that. Why we've.
If you can you go with Mark first? I gotta. Oh yeah. 1 sec.
Okay.
Yeah, we could definitely start with me. I'm cool with that.
And there you are.
Yeah, there we are.
Grave robbers, welcome to hellhole. Yep. Sorry, if I saw that sign, I'd be like, nope.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna stop at the next town.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I know there's one in the desert somewhere. I think out by California, Nevada, Arizona, somewhere that says it's actually a town called Hell. Welcome to Hell. And I'm like, I'm driving by, going, no, I don't want to go there.
Next, just keep on going down.
I don't even need gas that bad, thank you. I'm just gonna keep going.
just keep heading down that highway. Yeah, no, it's it actually does take place in Arizona though. It just on the southern Texas border of Arizona is where this is supposed to be at. It's a little desert town. It's like it was a former silver mine. Basically, they mined it out and kind of got abandoned and took over by outlaws. and you know, they don't really take care of stuff, so it just kind of collapsed in itself. Originally, it was actually called Howl's Hold, was the name that it was, and then they like carved Hellhole into the sign. You know, they just kind of, yeah. So that's kind of the setting. You know, it's you know, a desert town. It's just a rundown, derelict town that nobody ever goes to, nobody ever wants to be a part of, or, you know, be associated with at all. And the grave robbers are a group of bounty hunters, and they specialize in things that are evil, you know, supernatural. Think like the show Supernatural, but with freaks themselves being the ones that hunt the things that you know, are themselves freaks as well. You know, so they deal with like vampires. You know, there's the skinwalkers. I'm not sure. You know, if you're not familiar with the skinwalkers, they're at
Skinwalker Ranch. Yeah.
Skinwalker Ranch. Yeah. Excuse me. But yeah, the Skinwalker is basically a Navajo witch, and it's you know, it's like a shape-shifting witch. But in this, it keeps that element. But you know, they're more like a like the skin sags off of their bodies, like they have to actually skin a corpse or skin an animal or something like that and wear it, and they become like a monstrous version of that. You don't see them too much in this book. There's a prequel story to this that if we hit the stretch goal, you'll see that kind of monster. But you know, that's just kind of an idea of the kind of monsters and the stuff you'll see in the book. You know, in this particular book, they're hunting down a guy who's been killing people and taking a piece, like a body, like a piece of their body, like a limb or something like that. So they've been following a trail all around the Old West, and it's led them to this town. So yeah.
Oh, is that this guy?
That is Richard. He's one of the bad guys. He's like
that is
one of the main.
That is a cool looking picture.
Thank you. That was done by
that.
Sim.
Yeah, another great artist.
Eugene was the colorist on that, and he did a phenomenal job. You know, I'm really happy with it. You know, it's it really gets the point across. You know, that he's definitely not a good guy. So yeah, you know, it's pretty cool. This is a trading card that's going to come with every book. So if you buy Grave Robbers, this comes with the book totally free. So yeah, this is on me. So you guys can just enjoy that. It's going to be a cool little card. Can't wait to get that out to people.
Yeah, that's really cool looking.
Yep, it's a cool design.
Thank you.
Do you want me to play the video or?
Yeah, if you'd like.
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
We can do that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Can I ask real quick, who did your logo?
That was Red Gaze.
He did the logo?
Sunsword. No, not the logo, the video.
Oh, who did the logo?
Yeah, sorry. I thought you asked about the
That's
video.
cool that Red Gaze did the video, but yeah.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job on it too. The logo was done by a girl named Nicole Sapita. She's on Twitter. I think her handle is Das Nomo, I think. She's really good. She's done a lot of really good work. She did the Doomfate logo too as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now this is I really dig it. I may come to her because I can do logos, but it's not my favorite thing. So
yeah, it's definitely you know, it's one of those things where you really want the thing that speaks the loudest about your campaign. I originally drew the logo for this for Grave Robbers, and I showed it to Passion for drawing, and he didn't say anything for about 5 seconds. and then he said, "Is this really what you're going to go with?" And I said, "Well, is it good?" And he said, "Let me find something for you. I think I know." So that stung a little, but at the same time, I ended up getting this really great logo. So it's good to have friends that are honest with you.
Well, arguably, if they're not honest with you, they're not friends.
That's true. That's true.
Right.
To be fair, when I did see her actual when she completed this logo, I looked at it, and then I looked at the logo I had drawn, and I was like, he made the right call. He made the right call. It looks terrible compared to this. So yeah.
Well, I like your tagline here: bullets, blood, and booze.
You get plenty of that in this book, man. That's all it is.
That's good.
Yeah, I thought about trying to fit another B in there, but I thought 3 was enough.
The alliteration is the best thing comics has ever produced. Yeah.
But yeah, it's it's definitely on the side of ultra violence. I grew up watching a lot of westerns, but I always liked movies like RoboCop, Predator, and stuff like that too. Growing up, I was a real big fan of like the those violent movies and stuff that I shouldn't have been watching when I was like 5. But my dad was pretty loose with the VCR, so he just popped stuff in.
Yeah, mine too. My dad was ex-military, so he was like, "Oh, here, you want to watch this? Yeah, let's watch this one."
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket.
Deer Hunter, you want to see that? Yeah, that's totally
that's what he wants to do. Mine too.
No
problem. Just don't tell your mother.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. But yeah, I grew up watching a lot of those really violent movies that I shouldn't have. So I wanted to I love those. My dad loved westerns. My grandpa loved westerns, and I love westerns. So I was like, let's do a western, and I combined a little bit of horror, that ultra violence, and some elements from the old west. And I think it really meshed well together. I've got some really cool characters. Big Dick Murphy is the main character.
So that's this guy right here in the middle.
Yeah, that's Big Dick Murphy.
Can I just say real quick? I love this logo too with the skull.
Yeah, that actually is a sticker that you get free on the campaign as well.
Nice. That looks really cool too. I like that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Did you model him after you a little bit? He's like,
no, actually, that's the second time that's been, and I take that as a compliment. Great compliment. Believe me. But no, he actually before he even knew what I looked like, he actually started. It was originally going to look more like Clint Eastwood. But as we got to talking, he kind of started implementing some like more John Wayne kind of features, and then we started layering some Wild Bill Hickok stuff on there, and it ended up looking really cool. And then somebody mentioned that I have a little bit of a resemblance, so I'm just gonna roll with it.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
Yeah, thank you.
So he's the main character. These 3 are the main characters then.
Yeah, those are the Grave Robbers: Big Dick Murphy, Amanda Lynn, and Waylon Louder.
I like how he looks like he's all like a gentleman with the bowler hat and everything on, and he's
he's anything but a gentleman.
Yeah,
that man is a cutthroat. He is a bank robber. He looks like a gentleman, and he wants you to be a little disarmed by him. But
yeah.
He definitely is not a nice man. That cane has a dagger in it. So so yeah, we're gonna see a lot of him. He's a great character. I love Waylon. He's one of my more favorite characters. But he's more of like a mummy character. Big Dick is a werewolf, and you kind of see like his fingers. You see the claws. When he gets angry, he like rages out into a wolf. And with Waylon, he's more of a it's kind of like a mummy, but it's not really a mummy. He's basically like dried out, in that kind of a mummy sense. Like there's no moisture in his body. So you kind of see like on his fingers and on his face there, you see like the flaking. And he can kind of did you see the Brendan Fraser movie with the mummy?
Yes.
Yeah.
He can kind of do stuff like that, and he kind of pulls moisture out of people.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think we actually see that in the preview pages that I put on here.
So he can actually dry them out like he is, sucking the moisture out of them.
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah. And then there's Amanda Lynn. Yeah, she's I love this character. It's like a combination between Wolverine More, I guess, more X-23 and Nightcrawler. She kind of has elements from both. I guess if Sabretooth had a daughter, it'd be more like that. She's pretty cool. She's actually she's more subdued, which you don't really get in these images so
Especially
much.
this one here in the middle.
Not so much in these.
That is a great picture right there.
Yeah, I loved this. This was the first page that Passion finished, and I was just so happy with it. We sat down and we laid out every single page, and he started sketching them and stuff like that. We planned it all out, and he finished this one, and I was just blown away. There are some really phenomenal pages in this. I think.
Yeah, this looks really awesome.
Yeah,
wow.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like down here, he looks like he's getting shot, but it's like,
yeah,
but it's like.
Sorry, my webcam's in the way. No, it's my own fault. So I gotta like arc around. But yeah, that's where his hand actually explodes. We'll see more of that in the book as well.
Wow.
Like he just explodes into dust, but he can reform himself. So we'll see that on the next page. Big Dick hulks out into the wolf kind of figure and rips this guy's arm off. She cuts two dudes' heads off. One of those is actually patched up a drawing. He drew himself into the book right there. Getting his head cut off. Yeah, I love that. I
awesome.
Absolutely love that. I thought that was so funny that he did that. But keep in mind, when she pokes their fingers through the back of that dude's eye, she's impaled one of those fingers, or one of those eyes, I mean.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Yeah, that's great.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then, with this bottom part, that's where we see Waylon. He's come out and he's starting to desiccate these dudes, sucking all the moisture out of them. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It does kind of remind you of the Mummy. Yeah. The way he did it to those guys, the way he would do it to those guys.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's like suck them dry, and they would be the mummies then.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. This is some great looking art.
You can't really see it on this page, but that eyeball that she had impaled on her finger, you can still see just a little bit right there. That's still stuck on her finger. That's a carryover. I love that. We laughed.
And it's the middle finger that she's flipping the other guys off with.
Yeah, we laughed about that for probably way longer than Two Grown Men. She probably laughed at something like that.
I laughed about that because that's funny.
It's good stuff, yeah. And that's one of the things. I'm a huge Sam Raimi fan, so I wanted to put
me too.
Not like over the top gag humor, but enough to where it's be like, oh, okay, well, that's pretty funny, and laughing about it and stuff like that. Enough to where it's fun and not overly grim.
Right.
Because there's a lot of grim in this, but I wanted it to be balanced, so people wouldn't be like, I want to kill myself after reading this. So, they're like, oh, okay, well, that's funny. Well, that's sad. That's funny. And, it's stuff like that.
Dark, but in a good way.
Exactly.
Not a depressing bad way.
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
I like Sam Raimi too. I've actually, that's one of the coolest things I've done in my life was I got to meet him.
Oh, really?
And Ted and Bruce Campbell.
Oh, that's awesome.
And talk to them all. So
that was cool.
Yeah, that was fun to get to meet them and talk to them.
Yeah, I got to meet Bruce Campbell, I think, at MegaCon one year.
Oh, dude, that's similarly. I think my first year I moved to Orlando in 2005. He was doing a book tour by Fashion Square down here.
Oh, really?
I saw Bruce Campbell, down this way. He's doing his. Maybe it was a book. I don't think I think he's got a book. Maybe
if Chins could kill,
I think 3. Yeah, I think he's got 2 or 3 books.
Yeah, so it must have been for one of those. Yeah.
How to Make Love the Bruce Campbell Way and If Chins Could Kill. I think those are the 2 books.
I have one of them. Let me see. Which one did I have? I got him to sign it. It's,
nice. Oh, really? Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, I can't see. It's one of his. I can't remember which one it is. It's over on the far side of my shelf.
Yeah, that's where I met him the only time. But that's awesome.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah.
Sam and Ted Raimi they're hilarious. Oh my gosh,
I would kill to meet those guys. They're just such a huge influence on everything.
And so down to earth. They're not usually And I've worked with people in Hollywood because I do some script writing stuff, and some of them are just giant walking egos. That's all they are. Man. And Sam and Ted Raimi are both I'm not famous. What are you talking about?
Yeah, salt of the earth. Yeah,
I'm not famous. It's I wouldn't be famous if it wasn't for the fans, or those kind of things. It's like, oh my gosh, wow,
that's really cool.
That's really good. That's really
good. I'm really
to hear.
happy to hear that. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of those guys. I've been a very big fan of theirs for a long time.
Are you a Florida guy, Mark?
I lived in Florida for about 6 years. I lived in Daytona for a little while.
Oh yeah, you said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I used to spend a lot of time. I don't know if you guys are on Sci-Fi City at all, but I used to
Yes.
hang out a lot there. I think I got some stuff signed by Jim Lee there a few years ago, maybe
Oh,
like
nice.
10 or 15 years ago. So
Mhm.
this character is called the Rotting Golem. This was, I think, this was the first 30 days. If you backed in the first 30 days, you could get that trading card. He is definitely going to be in the book. I think people are going to love this character. He is. He's a lot of fun. He was a lot of fun to write, and he is just going to be so disgusting. And you can kind of tell with the way that his arm is kind of separating.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm pretty proud of this one.
Nice.
I really like him. I think, and Joe Ball did such a great job, phenomenal job on this card. Again, I couldn't be more thankful for all of the people who have worked on this campaign. They've done a great job.
And that's one of the great things about CG is to see how people are so willing to be like, oh, well, let me help you with that. Let me do this for you. Let me, and you're like, wow, you don't see that you don't see that in a lot of industries where, the mainstream or any of the other industry. No, they're all like, no, get away from me. I don't want to help you.
Especially in the mainstream.
You'll try to take my job. You'll try to do this.
People are trying to claw you down in the industry. So.
And here it's like people are like offering like I've seen Frega offer like campaigns like, oh, here, I'll do a card for you. I'll do this for you. No, I just want to do it because I like the character, or I want to help you out. So here,
That's really cool.
It's like, wow, that is so cool to see that people, so many people here are so willing to help out other creators.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that there are just so many great people. It's so great to be able to sit down and really make something awesome and then just have people respond to it. And not only just, the fans and stuff like that, which is amazing, but also other creators.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's so gratifying as like a creator, like a writer, to have people look at it and say, man, that looks really cool. Or, something like that. It validates what you're doing, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Especially when you see, you hear some of the other creators, going, oh, wow, that's a great idea. That looks cool. That, these kind of things, it's got to make everyone go, oh, wow, that really felt good.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially since I know a lot of artists, and myself included, when I draw, I'm very critical of my own art. So I think my art's crap. And other people are like, no, it's not. Oh, you know what you're talking about. Go away. It's like, and to hear other good people saying the same thing is really great.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
So if you can, now that I'm looking at this close up of the wanted poster, you can actually see kind of like some of the wolf features in him.
Oh yeah.
In his face. That's really a cool look. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you look like the ears too back there kind of look like they're pointed. That's really cool.
This is one of the coolest things. Passion did these, wow. He was such, he did a lot of really good work on all of these wanted posters. This drawing of Big Dick Murphy is one of my favorites that he's done. And it looks phenomenal. It's just this is something that I thought about doing a mini print of.
Yeah, I was going to say, not to jump in, I was going to say it would be cool to have one of these, but maybe if you could like purposely weather it and purposely make it feel like it's old Wild West style. You know what I mean?
I'd love to see how I could do that. I got to look into that.
When I was a kid, we used to like try to like make an old map by like putting paper in an oven and like kind of like heating it up and making it crisp. It could be something like that. I don't know how you would do that. But yeah, that's just an idea.
Yeah, I'll look into that. That'd be cool. Yeah, and then that's Amanda Lynn. She's like I said, kind of like a Sabretooth's daughter meets Nightcrawler kind of thing. But she's not like mentally, she's not like she has like a bloodlust kind of thing, when she goes into fighting mode. But when she's not, she's very calm and she's the collected one in the group until like she snaps. So
she's obviously Native American, but what are the things here around her head?
Well, she's I think we call them hell energy, like hell horns.
Oh, okay.
It's like she's not actually Native American. She was raised partially by Native Americans. Which is where she gets her look.
The look, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, her mother was a witch and her father was like a frontiersman, and her mom lived in secret, and she was trying to run away from her past as a witch. But these highwaymen basically rob their family while her mother is pregnant with her.
So like a burn 'em at the stake witch, or like a shaman kind of witch?
Like a burn 'em at the stake kind of witch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like a real witch.
Like
okay.
she actually has like a book of shadows and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So basically what happens is her dad goes and he tries to fight off these highwaymen while her mom grabs, like she reaches under the floorboards and grabs her book of shadows and runs into the woods. And basically like her dad had no idea, like he didn't know what she was and stuff like that. But you know, she hears the gunshots and, you know, she hears screams and stuff. When she gets to the woods, you know, she like flips through the pages and she's trying to find like the specific page, and she lands on one that says Vengeance Pact. And, you know, she basically like cuts her hand open and she holds it over, and, you know, it gets like a blood sacrifice. And what she does is she's summoning this demon just to avenge her husband, you know, to go and kill these things. And basically it tells her when it surfaces that, you know, it'll avenge her husband, but she's going to have to pay something in turn.
Yeah.
And what happens is, you know, she's just agreed. She's just like, yeah, just, you know, avenge him. And they go, and she hears 3 screams, and, you know, there were 3 highwaymen. And when it comes back, you know, it rakes its claws against her stomach, and like it, like ghostly, almost like ephemeral, goes through into her, you know, and she can feel the pain and she feels something happening, but she doesn't know what. And when she gives birth, you know, her daughter comes out with, you know, razor sharp teeth and claws for hands and feet. You know, her skin's, you know, pale white, like porcelain, and her eyes are purple with red irises. And, you know, they're immediately like, nope, I'm good. You know, you know, they scream and they, you know, they're terrified of, you know, what they just pulled out of this woman, and her mother just abandons her. She's like, you know, she just leaves her. And, you know, she goes from house to house as like an orphan. You know, a pastor tried to raise her, and then she goes to like, she gets run out of town, and then a group of Sioux Indians raise her. And, you know, things just don't go well because she looks horrific. You know, she looks like a demon. You know, when she smiles, it looks like a shark smiling at you. So, you know, it's not something that, you know, you can really hang out with, you know, on a daily basis. Like,
right.
You know, it's terrifying. So, you know, she gets run out of tons of towns. Big Dick Murphy eventually finds her and takes her under his wing and kind of teaches her how to control her powers and, you know, kind of protects her, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. I can't wait to. Well, you know, you got to figure, you know, most blood magic does come with some bad sides to it.
It does. You know, generally speaking, you want to stay away from blood magics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Waylon, you know, I've already kind of explained a little bit about him. Yeah. You know, he's kind of like a mummy. He was a grave robber. He was a bank robber, and you know, that's how he basically made his living. You know, he went from town to town robbing banks, and he met up with a posse once that decided to rob this bank, and they rob it. They get outside, and he decides that he wants to keep the money for himself. So he pulls out a gun and he shoots them all in the back, and he kills all of them except for one. And it just so happened that guy was an Apache shaman, and he curses him. You know, he basically tells him that his body will be as dry as the desert that, you know, his blood is leaking out onto. And, you know, it just sucks the moisture right out of his body. And for years, he wanders in the desert. You know, he literally at one point in time lays in a riverbed, just drinking and drinking and drinking. And it's just never enough. You know, you'll see that in the book actually too. You know, he's constantly, you know, it's kind of funny to the reader because, you know, you just see him downing these bottles of whiskey and stuff like that. So you kind of get this idea, oh, there's like you know, he's a drunk and, you know, and stuff like that. But it's actually the curse. Oh. You know, it's kind of horrific, you know, but you know, it's like funny on the top, but it's, you know, horrific on the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a couple of layers to that. And you'll see that pretty consistently throughout all of the books that he appears in. He's always going to have like whiskey or something like that.
Yeah, these wanted posters. You're right. These wanted posters are really cool looking.
Oh yeah. Like this is probably one of my favorite of Waylon. You know, Passion really knocked it out of the park with these.
Yeah, man. I like you can see like the sand or dust coming off his face. That's really cool.
Exactly. Yeah, it's phenomenal. I was blown away by him. You know, he's done an incredible job.
Yeah, they look great.
Oh yeah. This is one of my favorite characters. there's a whole long backstory to him. We explore it a little bit in the first book, just a little bit. Basically, the idea is that he is a lot older than most people would suspect. He's actually somewhere around, I think, 110, or I'm sorry, 610 years old.
Mm.
He was a crusader at one point during the Middle Ages, and yeah, he meets up with some bad stuff, and kind of dedicates himself to a not so great cause, and that's kind of what the book centers around. So it's got a couple of layers to that story as well. So
yeah,
Nice.
oh, that's awesome.
Oh yeah,
That's Preston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am the original art from this is actually sold already, so you can't get it. But we are going to be putting this on the back cover of the book. People have been hugely impressed by this, and rightly so. It's a phenomenal piece.
Yeah. Wow.
So we're going to put this on the back of the book. But also, what we're going to do, if we hit $7,000 for our $7,000 stretch goal, there's going to be a mini print that comes with every book of this too. Some nice cardstock. Similar to if you got Doom Fate, he had a bunch of those mini prints, and we're going to do that with this as well.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, that looks awesome. Wow.
Yeah, I love this. I was actually almost bummed out that it sold, because I thought about buying it myself. Yeah.
I'm just gonna hang on to this one.
And this is the sticker. This is going to come with every book already. So you'll get the Richard book and you'll get the Grave Robbers book. And if you already signed up, you can check your email, and you'll have a few emails probably from me if you haven't backed it already. That will have a link to the secret perk that will give you not only the Richard trading card, the Grave Robbers sticker, but also the Big Dick Murphy trading card, which is exclusive only to email signups.
Nice. Okay.
There's a whole lot more coming too. And as we
get here's the stretch goals you were talking about.
Yep.
Nice. Wow.
So yeah, we're working towards some new pages too. Once we hit the $7,000 stretch goal, I might add a 7.75. But after 7,000 right now, the next is going to be an extra 5 pages onto the book of original story that it takes place before this story. It's the Road to Hellhole.
Oh, nice. Okay. Wow. This campaign looks really good. You've got some awesome art here.
Thank you. Yeah, it's some really, really great art. I'm working with some very talented people.
And really good characters too.
Thank you.
These characters look great. And the stories you're given for them that you're talking about, sounds like it's going to be a great read too.
Thank you. I love these characters. I've put my heart and soul into this book. Yeah. It's such a fun page, He
did an amazing job on this.
Yeah, we've got a lot more coming too. There's so much violence in this book.
The composition is off the chain.
Yeah. Like I said, we sat down and we went page by page by page. We planned it out. We talked about it for a long time. It took us probably 3 months to get this all laid out total, to where we knew the story and we knew where it was going to go and, how it was going to flow and everything. I had a script that I wrote originally, but, when you work with somebody, it kind of translates differently. So we kind of parceled it out and made, a really great story that people are going to love. So.
Yeah, it sounds like a great story. I mean,
thank you.
I'm one of those people that I love stories that flip the script on things. So you're like, these guys are, monsters or villains, and then monsters that hunt other monster or villains. So it's like, I love that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the fun thing is that I always like the X-Men in that respect. The X-Men were mutants who fought the Brotherhood of Mutants. I guess originally it was the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, but they were mutants fighting mutants from like protecting the world from their own kind, which is it was a really interesting idea back in the 60s, and we've kind of emulated that to a degree here with some of the supernatural elements. Obviously it doesn't have like the global impact and the the racial stuff, all of that stuff is not obviously in this book because it doesn't have that wide range, but people are gonna I think people are going to really enjoy the story. We've got some really great story. We've got a whole lot more planned for the future. And I think people are just going to really, really love the characters. Even the bad guys, I think people are going to, be able to identify with. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, and there's not too many westerns out there too, so you're like hitting that kind of that itch that people want to dive into. That there's a couple others, but man, if you're really into westerns and something with a good twist, this is one good way to go for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, you get western and monsters.
Yeah,
yeah, dude, you're on camp werewolf over here. Because we've been talking with Black Rose Comics about like there's a resurgence of cyberpunk that I'm doing, and there's a resurgence of werewolf kind of shapeshifters out there in Comicsgate right now.
I was shocked. There's Sovereign Wolf. It's another great campaign that has werewolves in it. That launched the same weekend that I launched.
Really?
I had no idea. And I launched and I'm like, all right, cool. And I was like, what's this other thing? And then I looked at it, I was like, oh, come on. You launched the same weekend?
Yeah.
Damn. But
because you've got
it's been a steady stream since then, yeah.
Yeah, you've got War Party, you've got Sovereign Wolf, and you've got
Viking Wolf is another one.
Bonds and Viking Wolf.
Bonds, Viking Wolf coming out, and you've got Magic Cop because they have werewolf in it too.
Magic Cop even has a werewolf in it too.
Yeah. So that's 6 books with werewolves. So it's like, wow.
We actually did a stream with Piper.
So 7 books now with werewolves in it. That's awesome.
I think we're gonna start a battle royale stream for between, because we got for Cyberpunk we got Cobalt and the two others freaking reality hackers and well, it's not necessarily Cyberpunk, kind of the giant robot one, Wyatt's book. I don't know why I'm blanking.
Eternal Armor.
Yeah,
Eternal Armor. That's kind of cyberpunk, not the most, but it's close.
And the Ace as well.
Yeah, the Ace as well. Yeah,
the Ace is a phenomenal. That's going to be a really good book. I'm really looking forward to that one
for sure.
Yeah, it's really. It's funny to see so many. It's so many for werewolves. It's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's definitely an odd niche that's come to prominence, but it's definitely rising. It's weird. I had no idea that there were this many werewolf lovers and stuff like that.
Do you think it's because of I'm sorry.
No. Do
you think it's because of graveyard shifts, kind of werewolf turn? Were you influenced at all by that? By the third one?
I had actually when I had started writing Grave Robbers, I hadn't actually read Graveyard Shift yet. Yeah, I bought the book. I got to I don't know. I don't think 3's out yet. He launched it, right? But I don't think it's.
Yeah, we haven't gotten yet. Well, I haven't gotten mine.
Yeah, no, it's supposed to be fulfilling, I think, in the next couple of months, he said.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember, if it had gone into. But yeah, anyway, I had started writing this, a long time before I'd even gotten Graveyard Shift 1. I think I started writing this like 3 years ago, maybe 4. I think is when I came up with Big Dick Murphy.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's a great twist, though. It's. I think it's it's not a straightforward shapeshift kind of thing.
Yeah, well, that's something that I want to. Well, most of the book takes place during the day, and I was like, how am I gonna that doesn't work. So I was just like, oh, well, let's just make it something like he gets angry. So
yeah,
Hulk style.
Yeah,
it makes more sense that way to me anyway. So I think it worked out.
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a great book.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really excited for it, and I think people are going to really, really pick up on the amount of, effort and love and creativity that we tried to bring into this. It's a fun book. If you like ultraviolence, you like werewolves, you like horror, this has got all that stuff. It covers all the bases.
Yeah, it checks all those boxes you like.
Exactly.
Well, let's shift gears. Haha. And talk about
that's funny.
Star Circuit.
Small caveat: there's no gears on the bikes, but
hey, my joke still worked. Come on,
it works. It works for these purposes for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, Star Circuit. It's been a killer ride so far. I keep using. I wrote all the pitches with these puns in mind, and so I just can't help using them. So yeah, it's been a crazy journey, we'll say, since I launched, and there's a lot that's been added and whatnot to the campaign. But to start, I don't know, I feel like the trailer might be the best way to start because it gets you in the vibe of what it is. You don't get a lot of story in the trailer. Just know that it's a man versus machine type of story, but in the racing scene, it's in the future. It's in a world where technology has become so advanced, where they've kind of made human skill and labor obsolete. So even in entertainment and in sports, like in racing, androids and AI have taken over as the pinnacle, where humans in this world can't even compete to any of these kind of high levels. So this is the story of one guy trying to do the impossible. And the trailer.
Welcome to the future. A place where you can find anything you desire. If the burner gangs don't find you first. Where the fastest racers are artificial. And if you're human, you don't stand a chance. Star Circuit.
That's pretty cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
That looks awesome. Wow.
Yeah, that's the work. I mean, obviously, all the art is mine because I'm the sole artist on it. But it's also the sole art of Ted Zagaro because he did the music and trailer. He did Eddie's book, the Sovereign Wolf trailer as well. So you can kind of see some of the. He's just really good at raw intensity. And 1 second, my dog just stole something from my trash.
It does look pretty cool, though. I gotta admit, this is the first time I've actually seen this book, but it looks really cool. The art looks phenomenal just from the trailer.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry, that happens once in a while. Like you'll sneak. He's a quick dog. Anywho, so yeah, the trailer is Ted Zagaro's baby. We spent like 3 weeks trying to get that right. And so I think it turned out well. You get a little bit of the story, and I think it's a good cinematic kind of feel for the book. And most people, get jamming with it and feel it, But yeah, my book was intentionally my first intention was to write this book for pitching because this is before I knew that crowdfunding was a viable way to get your stuff out. I just didn't see anybody. I saw small books do it, but I didn't know the success of CG to the high level. I was kind of on the fringes watching EVS, and I was like, all right, EVS can do it, and some others can do it, but is it really going to be a viable way for other people to do it? And I don't know. Over time, I was like, okay, this community is the best thing I've ever seen, so it's worth it, even if it doesn't work. It's worth building. Getting into the community. So, but yeah, the book is written 32 pages. It's actually going to be 36 with the extra stretch goal that we hit. It's my first book, so we're going on as much as we can with like the quality as I can within reason. The book is already made as far as the art, and Eric Weathers is doing the letters right now, so that's in the works as we speak. Since it's already done, the book's going to be fulfilled really soon in May. So latest
that's
June.
Awesome.
I just in the process of buying a house, so I'm hoping I can fulfill out of my garage instead of my apartment. That would be really great. So and then
wow, this looks really awesome.
Thank you. It's thanks, Kanan. Kanan White is the artist on this variant, and I got Steve Furcho, who did a lot of Stephen Platt and a lot of Dave Finch back in the day. And so it was just like a good fit, I thought, for the colors for that one. But yeah, it's a story about Star Circuit is basically a story about one street racer who is kind of an asshole and an arrogant guy that will do and say the kind of things that will make a story interesting, and that's why he's like a great kind of protagonist. Also, you need to have a good arc for a character, and I love that the main character here is his name is Atlas, and he's just like a guy that has run from everything in his life. He's had some traumatic stuff as a kid, and he's kind of pushed everybody else away and kept everybody else at arm's length. Like the other girl on the cover is Hip, which is his ex-girlfriend, which she's kind of like he pretty much street races in the slums because it's the only place you can street race. And so they kind of hit it off at one point, but obviously they don't work because he's an asshole and she actually thinks highly of herself. So that didn't work out for him. But the point is, all the relationships, his brothers, his parents, everyone he knows, he kind of pushes away. And so the only thing he really cares about is the adrenaline ride, the race. And so he comes across this he stumbles upon this long forgotten racing legend, and together they are convinced that they can win against the androids when in 80 years, nearly 80 years, no human has ever been qualified for a race in the pro racing scene. It's almost considered suicide to try it. So in this future, it's like they're seen as nut jobs for trying this out. The point is, he gets this idea and is convinced, along with this kind of long forgotten legend, and they go for it. So, and this is the first chapter of a mini series, which will span about eight chapters or so. So I think about 250 pages, maybe 300 if we go crazy. So this is the first chapter of it.
Nice. Wow. This looks really good.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, I really like this character that you've got with the central. I think it's on the next page, on the top of the next page.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that in the trailer. And is that one of the robots that he races against?
That's an android, yeah. So
that looks really cool. I really like that.
You can go read this preview on. Oh yeah, thank you. I was gonna say you can go read this preview right now, actually, on StarCircuitComic.com if you want to read it. It's actually Eric Weathers' letters. More or less, we'll probably be modifying a little bit, but pretty much this android, pretty much all the corporations in all of this universe in the city, we'll just say in the colonies, all have their leg in the race. So just like now, different companies.
Hey, Phoenix.
What's up? Glad you showed up, Phoenix. So in this world, each corporation kind of sponsors their own bike. They have their own R&D team, and that's how it works. The main rule in the race is that there has to be a physical body. So it can't just be a computer on a bike that drives itself. Plus, with bikes, a lot of it is the gyro. A lot of what makes a bike work is the weight differential. So you have to have a body on it. Otherwise, a lot of it doesn't work. It doesn't work like a car. So that's how I based everything on that kind of concept. And on the bike itself, is not really running on gas or anything. It's running on data. So as it's pretty much like a Tesla brake. As data goes through these gates, transferring between devices, it charges by data friction. And so it charges this battery, and which charges the bike. And so that's the renewable source of energy for everything in this universe.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's one of my cool kind of aha moments that I had. So in this first book, he's street racing and he kind of gets caught up in a gang. And this is kind of one of the scenes where he's just being chased. And really, there's a reason why he's being chased, but there's like 10 or 12 pages of just straight on adrenaline ride chase scenes, which when I first showed this, I actually showed this to DC at some point early on, and they didn't want to have any part of it. They didn't think a chase scene would work this long, but I beg to differ. I think it's going to be kick-ass. And I've got some good reads. Recently, I had Kemosabe jump on as my editor, and he's given more. I didn't think it was going to get this good. I thought it was a good book, but he's given it like 10 out of 10 reviews, which I'm more than impressed by.
Wow.
I'm like, I didn't think I spent a long time on it, so I guess that's a testament to how long I just grinded the story out. We'll see. Now hopefully it's not that high, because then the only way I can go is down after that. So I'm hoping it's not so that good. So anyway, these are the sample pages, and it's a 32-page thrill ride of just like. My company that I'm starting with this first book of Star Circuit is all about trying to make these unbelievable worlds, but tie them to truth. Tie them to something that feels right. It's about crazy high speed racing, but also about girlfriends that hate you or ex-girlfriends that hate you, and like dysfunctional families, and things that we all can relate to. So it's gonna feel really real. It's gonna feel like you could be there. And it's almost like a trick of the mind. Now you're going to associate to this other unworldly stuff. But yeah, so we've hit 10K just recently, and so we've unlocked stretch goals already.
Here they are.
Yeah,
awesome.
So the first one's a postcard. It's double-sided actually, with the logo on one side and this image of the legend. And then at AK we unlocked another print. This is all going to be shipped in the same Gemini mailer if you got one book. Otherwise, it'll be a different kind of package, but be assured it'll be secure and wrapped up. But my art bro Jeremy did this one. Jeremy Tevenot did this. He's got his own indie game, and he's doing so much good work that I asked him for a print, and he did this awesome, crazy, it's almost like a motocross star in this one, where he's like flipping the bike in the air, and it's just a cool composition. And the most recent thing we did is the extra pages. This took us from 32 pages to 36. Now there's still 32 pages of story, but the extra 4 pages are almost like, the way I put it is like they're breaking the fourth wall a little bit. The book starts to kind of, since it's a cyberpunk book, it's kind of cool. The book kind of starts recognizing you as a reader. And so it kind of breaks the fourth wall there, and gets you into the credit page and everything else. So it's a nice bridge. And I really wanted to have that. Plus I might have some cool stuff in the end that I didn't have before. And this is the main goal that we're pushing for right now, which is the mixtape, which I have a lot of various artists on this.
I love that mixtape. That's good.
Yeah, I got the idea from a few different people, but I saw Magic Cop 2 do one track kind of thing. And I was like, dude, I need a mixtape for the whole thing. This needs to be a soundtrack for how long the book is. So you can read the book in like 15, 20. And so I was like, okay, if I can get that amount of time on tracks, you'll have a whole complete kind of feel that you could put on the background. If you don't want it, don't play it. But if you do want to try it out, give it a try. And I think Cyberpunk lends to this kind of, I don't know, you're used to this kind of neon high, adrenaline kind of feeling music. And so I've got Ryan Wynn on one track. I've got Vosto that helped out Magic Cop's soundtrack, and a few others that are just great indie artists that I want to promote.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome. And then you've got after that you've got a Star Circuit kanji patch.
Yeah, this is obviously this is Shay the Red, influencing me here with her patch. Yeah. However, she got me because she gave me a good reason. She gave me a good reason of these are bikes. There should be biker patches. I was like, okay, I can't deny that.
There you go, yeah.
So if we hit 12K, it's all yours, Shay. You can have as many Star Circuit kanji patches as you want. And notice how it's different than the other ones. This is with every purchase above $32. So even if you didn't back more than just the main book, then you're not going to get it. But if you back any of the 2 books, which I'll bring up in a second, because there's multiple ways you can get 2 books. Okay. But yeah, the 14K is another cool print of Atlas and his older brother. Like I said, his relationships are his brother is, well, I'll talk about his brother in a second, but this is a cool print that'll come out at 14K.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it's kind of a throwback to, like, I originally thought I was going to do this book black and white. And it just didn't happen because I needed the neon feel. And I ended up coloring it myself because I tried out a bunch of colorists and I couldn't get them to do what I wanted in my head, and I didn't want to compromise. And maybe later on I will get somebody that, now that they have a whole book to reference, they can pull off matching a little bit what I want.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
You
I
know,
think you made the right call, though. The colors in this look really good. I mean, they really are like cyberpunk. Like I think you kind of nailed it. It looks great.
Thank you. I think that's I pulled that from Sid Mead. I don't know if you're a fan of that guy, but he did a lot of the designs for all your favorite shit. I don't know if you want to curse on this channel. He did a lot of stuff for. Sid Mead he's like the guy behind Blade Runner, the designer behind that. So we're coming upon layouts and design. This is one way you can back 2 books. Layouts and design is a book that's 32 pages. You get the layouts, which is like pretty much, for anybody who's not aware of making comics, how it's made is there's a layout stage where the artist makes everything kind of like sketchier form, but all the storytelling's there. So it'll be a version where you can see all the pages back to back in sketch form. And then also I did 2.5 years of concept art for sci-fi stuff. So there's tons of stuff. I've concepted stuff that I've never used before, but you'll get to see. I've concepted bathrooms and VIP boxes and stuff that I never used, but it's there. You're going to be able to see what my ideas are, how highways work, how I design cities, you know, the struts that hold up all these colonies and stuff. You'll get to see a lot of that. So, that's another way you can back. When we go through the tiers real quickly, we can show that.
That's a cool idea to do that. I like that.
Yeah, I forgot who I grabbed it from, but somebody else did a similar thing. And here's the T-shirt logo. The only way to get the T-shirt is the big tier called Apex Backer, and it's my big thank you. It's like, if you're wearing this shirt and I see you on the street, I know you're like you're a fan. You're not just like a passerby.
You know where it came from,
right? So. Real quickly, I can go through some of the character stuff. I already talked about Atlas. Like I said, he's the narcissist. He's the asshole. Yeah. And this little strip of characters is what I show people early on, really early on, like 3 years ago, early on. And so it's mostly, the story's really about brothers, about him and his brother Menno. And his brother's the opposite. He's your best friend, but almost like loyal to a fault. He'll stop you from having fun sometimes to protect you, and he'll lecture you. He's that guy that wants the best for you, but is really not. He's a little bit of a drag. You kind of have to like get him out of his shell. And then Hip is his ex-girlfriend. She's kind of the first one to get in a fight, the first one to like kind of be a bad influence. She's almost a better racer than Atlas, but she's just too reckless, and I think that's her personality all the way, and I think that's perfect for him, because that's the kind of guy he's going to go for the girl that's like even crazier than he is, and that makes sense. So the other 2 characters here, Nick is his best friend, which you can immediately tell in the book that like he's not great with, like, obviously he's keeping relationships at arm's reach at least, and so he's got. There's always a little bit of drama between him and, but they understand. They understand they're still really good friends. But he's kind of like this. He'll end up being more this. How would you say it? He's like the engineer, is the way to put it. Like he's going to be the guy that figures out how to make the bike faster and make him compete. And he's like this. He's like a 21-year-old like prodigy. In a world where, in this world, let's just say this, in this world, there's no such thing as like jobs. So he's trying to get a job in a world where there's no such thing as jobs. And that's how crazy about science he is. He's like, they don't even want you, dude. They've got androids to do the job for you. He just wants in because he's that crazy about it. The last character, Sandra, is kind of like the story's villain. She's just a power hungry. She's the femme fatale, but not in a physical fighter way. So I hear my dog going crazy out there now. But yeah, those are the characters. Those are the main characters of the first book.
You have all the add-ons right here. Let's go up here to your tiers.
To the tiers, yeah.
Here we go. Okay, there we go.
So
essentials.
The essentials is I wanted to give more than just like I don't know. I thought I was just going to do a couple things, and I ended up doing way more. So there's a card by Sarah Sedna, a trading card that I may end up being metal from Phoenix Animation. Phoenix might. I have to talk to him about getting that metal because it might be really cool. If I can get it the price right, that'll be metal. So with this tier, you get the metal card, you get a print that'll fit. It's like a 5x8, and then a longer extended version of the same print, which is the banner of him standing with the bike. You can see it there, but that's 24x9. It's like a weird printed, a weird shaped print. So let's see here. We got, and then both books. So you get the main book and then the concept book with those. And I think that's the best deal too. $50 for all that, I think is I purposely kept it low. Everything else is kind of moderate, but this is you're shaving off some dollars by doing that one.
Yeah, that is a good deal.
So the next one is actually, just before I go further, no matter what you get, you're going to get that print, that 5x8. No matter what you get, is something I want to. It's a thank you to like just even considering the book. So 16 for the main cover, and then 16 for the variant cover. That will be colored in the end, so don't worry about that. And let's see here.
This is the Kanan cover?
That's the Kanan cover, yeah. Looks like it's doing well. I think rightfully so. It's such an explosively awesome cover.
Yeah.
And to keep this kind of comparable, I'm giving 2 books for the price of 1 for the digital version. So if you're into that, if you don't have space, or if you're international and don't want to pay shipping, you're going to get 64 pages for the price of 16.
Oh, that's nice. Wow.
So consider that. And then these next 2 tiers are another 2 ways to get 2 different kinds of books. So the first one's the design book and the main book, and the one below is both covers if you want to get both covers. Let me say this on stream because I don't say this enough and I always forget. Both of these covers won't be available for the next print. Like if I do volume 2 and 3 and on, whatever, both of these covers will not be a part of it. That's for sure. There'll be some other like collective, like a collective volume kind of cover that I'll make. So this is the only way to get these. And I think it's rightfully so. You guys deserve some exclusives.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So we have the book and banner.
Right. It's pretty explanatory. And then, sketch card, which is the cheapest way to get an exclusive kind of original from me. I'll pick one out of many. And a lot of people claimed it. I had to pull up the discount, and so it reset my numbers. But a lot of people have claimed this. It's just only showing one. And that's one of the flaws about Indiegogo that I'm not too sure about. It's like they somehow need to be able to tie 2 tiers together. I don't know how to do that, but by pulling up the discount, you ruin like my stack of showing how many people enjoyed getting this one. And then the last tier is the Apex backers. This is the one that you get the T-shirt, you get all the prints, you get all the books, you get the original sketch card. It's like the perfect mix of everything if you want to just give it fully encompassed in the story and support the book. I really recommend it. And this is also on discount too. So a lot of people have claimed this as well.
Yeah, you've got a good variety of tiers. That's good with a good variety of price points.
Yeah, anybody's budget. Yeah, you can find one. And the last tier is pretty much the exclusive. I did this one for Rageality the other night. I had to get one of his originals, Shelby's originals. But this is my version of it. It's the pencil work plus a book and print. So you're getting quite a bit for. It's pretty much the cheapest way to get a page. If I was at a convention, it'd be a little bit more. So it's a good way to jump on, get this early Star Circuit stuff. This stuff is probably going to go for way more later down the line. Once everything builds momentum, like you never know where things go. So getting it this cheap is kind of nice in the beginning. So first come, first serve. If you want a page, come get it. And I'm going to probably get in contact with you personally to figure out if you want to read the book first, to figure out which page you want or however you want to work it. So that'll be on a kind of one-to-one basis there. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. I thank you for having me and like going through the whole spectrum of Star Circuit. I don't like to get into too much because I'm not great at like pitching it. I'm really like I'm much more. There's a reason why I'm an artist because I can't explain things. Like everything doesn't click in my brain the way it does when I put stuff on paper.
Plus, it's hard when you guys talk. You don't want to say too much because then you don't want there to be spoilers for
Right.
in case you accidentally say something you don't intend to.
Right. But I think that for me, it's just like if I give me 6 months and I'll give you something awesome. Just on the fly, it's hard for me to like put it all out there. However, I think I've gotten better over the course of streaming and whatnot to really pitch the book. But yeah, if you want to have an adrenaline ride, if you want to have like these funny / like dramatic moments between characters and something that's going to build over hundreds of pages into an ending that I think is going to be killer. Like I've there's so much to this book that I couldn't talk about. Like that's the problem with an issue 1. You're like, I can't even tell you. I can't talk to you about the catalyst to the story. Even like, I don't even want to give that away. So
yeah, that's the thing. You've got to be very precise in what you're saying because you don't want to give away too much. So because you're like, no, you've got to read the book to learn this stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
No, both of your campaigns look really good. They look really awesome.
I appreciate it. So anybody, we just hit 200 backers. I really appreciate everyone who helped out. We're so close to that mixtape, $96, and we got a soundtrack with the book. So help us out.
There you go.
That's it.
Yeah, that's awesome. 201 backers. That's good.
That's killer. And there's one other. I talk about it every stream, but and I don't know if people are thinking I'm just lying about it, but it is coming. I have a 3D print of the bike coming, and it's.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I don't know how we're going to work everything. Like it's going to obviously build as we go later down the line. It's going to get cooler and cooler, but this one's just going to be like a 4-inch by 2-inch. The bike looks awesome. I've seen it in 3D. It's modeled, ready to go. It's just like getting the prototype out, getting the kinks out of the pipeline. Then I'll start showing and hyping it. But yeah, that's coming. That's down the road too.
So this is your what? Is this your second 30 days?
Second 30 days, okay. Which is one of the mistakes I've made.
26 days left.
Yeah, I wish I did the 2 sets of 30 because you just get better results from Indiegogo.
Right.
Giving you feedback.
Hey, that's one of those things you guys are learning. That's for next time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and something I always tell people, to follow. If you don't want to back it, click the follow button because I do it just because I'm a crazy person now after doing campaigns. And like, I literally, whatever I see in front of my eyes, that's what I'm doing until I see something else and I do that. And so I forget whatever I'm wanting to back. Like I want to go, I just remembered I need to go back Starblades. That's something I really want to be into. Yep. And so I'll click follow. It'll give you an email reminder.
Right.
I think the best thing you can do, even better than maybe sharing, I think, is clicking the follow button because it'll remind you to share or back it later. Yeah. So,
that's what I do too with all of them. But it doesn't show I'm following right now with you guys because I don't have I'm not signed in.
Okay.
So I don't, accidentally do something I'm stupid, which I could do. But that's what I do too. I follow because there's been like just recently, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, my computer blew out. Ooh. It took out 2 hard drives at once. And I don't know how that happened. One was a solid state drive and the other was a regular drive.
Really? Both?
At the exact same time.
Wow. That's unbelievable, dude.
30 plus years of doing computers. I've never had that happen before.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
So
that's
I thought
terrible.
I fixed it and I was like, oh yeah, it's just this one hard drive. No problem. Blah, blah, blah. Got a new hard drive, got it in. And then the second one went out. I went,
oh, wow.
Wait, what? Oh no. So yeah, that was money I wasn't intending to spend on new computer parts. So
yeah.
But you got some shiny new hard drives, so we're
Yeah, so now I'm going back and going, oh right, which campaigns did I not back yet because of the money?
Yeah, I am in a similar boat. If especially, dude, I almost had my external hard drives always blow on me. Like they're just done, and I've lost so many art tutorials on my external. I had I don't know, 100 gigabytes of just old school DVDs, and you can tell those files are really small. So there's just tons of good videos of art stuff, and lost it all this year. Sucks.
Oh man.
Oh, yep.
It's a bummer. What can you do?
I don't think I've ever had an external hard drive that's lasted more than a year or two.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah, they're so cheap now. It's not even funny. They're just they fall apart at like you blow rung on them, and and they break.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like but that took like 2 weeks to get my stuff back up and running and going through hard drives because I didn't know I was going to blow out 2 of them. So
Right.
But got everything up back and running now. So now I'm going back through the campaigns going, okay, follow. Which ones did I follow? Which ones did I back? And which ones? So I'm going through the list going, okay, have I backed this yet? I don't see it on my list. And trying to back the ones. So
you're like auditing yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Trying to figure out which ones I haven't done because there's so many. Oh my God. Yeah. Every time I turn around, I'm like, wait, where'd that one come from? I didn't see that one before.
I had to reel in my spending because, like, a lot of this has been out of pocket for me for actually putting into this campaign.
Right.
And there was a point where I was like, oh, well, I got to get that one. I got to get that one. That looks cool. That looks cool. I'm like, I can't keep dropping $60 on these campaigns. I gotta calm down.
You gotta back a digital tier once in a while.
Yeah. Once in a while.
Yeah.
Especially while you're trying to get your own campaign.
Exactly. It's just, man.
Though that's why I'm glad I started the business. I just started my if you saw on Twitter, if you follow me, I just put up my logo. It's called Vera Via Studios is what I'm putting it under. Now it's all write-offs, so all the books are write-offs. It's all coming,
that's the smart thing to do. That way you can use everything as a tax write-off.
Yeah, that's the way I'm trying to work it.
Because I can't remember who it was. It was EVS or Malin. I can't remember. They were like, oh yeah, you can write off everything. I mean, like StreamYard, YouTube, everything you're spending is all a tax write-off now. I'm like, oh, hey, that's interesting. And he's like, yeah, everything you buy, as long as you buy it under the business, it's all a tax write-off for the business. And I was like, wow, okay. And now you're just saying, I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
I got to remember that for taxes next year.
Yeah. Exactly.
Speaking, I still have to do this year's, or last year's, but yeah.
Yeah,
that's
definitely something to consider.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're just past 2 hours, so I think I'll go ahead and end it tonight. And thank you, everybody, for watching another episode of Todd's Truth Presents Creator Truth with Joe Catapano and Mark Middleton. And check out their campaigns. I have all the information down in the description for their Indiegogo campaigns and their Twitter accounts. So I will see you guys in the next episode. Have a good night.
Take it easy, guys.
Thanks.